All right. All hearts and minds clear.
Uh-oh.
Giving honor, saints and friends, to
Boy,
the
you
Most High.
Get on the
here.
organ.
what you know about it?
Giving honor to, I forgot what they
My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ,
who is the head of my life. Without whom I would be nothing. Living in the beggarly elements of the world.
My bed could have been my cooling board and my room could have been my burial ground.
Never heard that one.
Man, Deacon Willie Harris used to say that all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Deacon Willie Harris.
I'm
Deacon.
with some church boys here.
Yeah.
You're a PK, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Are you a PK too?
I ain't no PK. I'm not EK.
Kinda same,
Evangelist kid.
Mm,
I guess that's kind of like a PK, but not really.
no, not at all.
No, you're on the throne, bro. I'm not. I'm in the court, but I'm not on the throne.
I'm in the court.
Sweet.
Straight up.
Well, yeah, I'm one of the peasants, just like looking up at y'all.
Oh, you a C and
Don't even do
Easter?
it.
Yes.
Christmas and Easter?
Yes.
Yeah, we look down on you people.
No, that's okay.
From our perch.
Look,
You sit in the
we are
balcony,
all
don't
made
you?
in the image and the likeness.
She read that part.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Dan the Realtor. Today, renting or selling your house. What's the best move? In the Coach's Corner, we're going to be talking about the top 3 little-known down payment sources. DMV real estate news, the real estate hot or not. Then we're going to jump into the comment section. Welcome to the Real Estate Wire, folks.
Hello. Hi, people.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Dan the Realtor.
Coach Marcus, what's up, y'all?
What's going on today? We got a special guest, a familiar guest,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
We got Lisa
She
Mays from the
She
Mays
back.
team.
Recurring. Look at me.
Back.
Twice on a pod in
You're
like
like a
6
recurring
months.
character.
We got you and Nick, who are our
You're our OGs.
yeah,
I'm like a,
OGs, yeah.
what is it? Like a honorary host.
Yeah, we can say
I'm
that.
like an honorary host.
Is that what you
We
want?
can say that.
Is that what you want to say?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, we
Alright,
can
do I have
say
your blessing?
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
dang.
I checked
I feel like
my
you just
boy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
took the award there for yourself, but did we vote on that? Or
it didn't matter if we
Thank
did.
you,
She said
guys.
what it was.
she just came in and took it. That's-
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Well, the other day, one of my locksmiths got robbed, and
Whoa.
yeah, we starting off like that. He got robbed, and I was like, so somebody hit me up on the Instagram. Was it you? Did you say that? You didn't help him? Lisa was like, you ain't help him, and I was like, I didn't want that smoke. Why would I take smoke? I don't know what this guy got.
Get robbed on the job.
He got robbed while we were changing the lock in the house.
Is this the one?
He didn't get robbed like no. Let me clarify. He didn't get like gunpoint robbed. Like give me your stuff. He sat his bag at the front of the house while we was at the back of the house, and somebody walked off with the bag.
Okay.
And he ran down the street and chased the dude. And I was like, okay, first I'm not
And
running down the
Dan
street.
watched.
Well, I watched him run after the guy because if it's me and somebody takes my bag in the middle of the hood, I'm just like, well, all right, that's that.
In daylight.
In the middle of broad daylight
Yeah.
on one of the hotter blocks. I'm like,
So yeah.
I would just walk away from the bag, like, well, my bag got stuck. But he's like down there fighting the dude. Because, DC,
You
it's
need
like
the bag
this.
back?
My philosophy is never get in a fight with somebody who ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah, that part.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
part.
That dude did not look like he had anything to lose. And I've got a lot to lose. And I'm like, take the bag, bro. What is it? I can buy another bag.
Did this happen in the same setting where you were trying to fix the lock yourself and there were
That was a different one.
guys arguing in the back?
Nah, that was a different house. That's a funny story. I'll tell you that story on another pod.
Oh,
My-
my
Dan
God.
with the
It
hood
was-
stories.
dude, they started arguing. And I was like, oh, man.
That thing was funny. He was trying to change the lock and act like he wasn't really listening, but he really was listening. That thing had me
Because the
rolling.
man, he got on the job and he ended up getting drunk.
Oh,
On the job. And I was like, don't show up to my jobs drunk, bro. Like, please,
Yeah. That's not good for the brand.
Do you remember what you just told me?
What?
Let the man live about my type of person that was drunk.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But here's the thing. Okay, you caught me. It's a very similar thing. But the only thing is they was like screaming and the neighbors was calling and like, they was walking around asking the neighbors for water and stuff. I was like, y'all can't do. So anyway, sometimes you try to help people out and give them work and stuff, but sometimes
Can't
they
help
don't.
everybody.
Yeah,
Can't help everybody.
no.
Hold on, Dan. Can we talk about the funniest part of your story, though?
Tell me, what was the funniest
The
part?
funniest part is Dan. He's telling this story on IG. I don't know if it was live or what, But he says that he goes to give the guy his phone. And I'm like, damn, why don't you call the police with that phone? Like, he's walking toward the dude with his own
No, but the
phone.
thing is, okay, so here's the backstory behind that. When we got the house, the owner,
You want to
there
go
were
help him, and you
squatters.
want to call for help.
No, there were squatters that were already in the house. So the police already knew about this house. So we were there to change the locks. If the dude runs off the phone, I'm going to call the police. They're going to take, 20 minutes to get there? The incident's over. Plus, I got my own phone. I'm like this. I need to get this little Latino dude out of this situation. I'm not going to fight nobody. I need him to go home. Like, just leave. Because he's Latino. They're not going to mess with me. I'm not a threat. I'm not like, yo. So I'm walking down, like, trying to figure out a way to get this dude out of the situation.
I got your phone.
So I said, yo, I'm talking to the black dude. I'm like, yo, let me give this man his phone real quick. I know, it's a complete non sequitur. It doesn't make sense. Like, you would expect me to say something like, yo, stop fighting. Get off of him. Don't do that. No, like, hey, can I just give him his phone real quick? Almost alluding to the fact that I'm about to bounce. I'm just going to give him his phone. Like, I alluded it that
Y'all
way.
keep fighting. Go ahead and put your phone in your pocket.
Just pause on the fight. Let me just give him his phone. And that snapped the dude out of it. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, I just want to give him his phone. And he was like, so that gave him a way to also disengage. Because I'm sure he didn't want to fight this dude for a bad day. He had nothing in it. So then he was just kind of thinking like, all right, so he still needs to look tough, He's like, go get your phone. He was telling the little Latino dude that. So the Latino dude, then that gave me the reason to be like, yo, come get your phone. And while you're doing that, continue walking to your car and go home. I'll send you your cash app for the day. I ain't trying to waste your time. I'm gonna cash app you, but we're not doing this today.
Yeah.
Could have said, and you saved a knot on his head, and then you also saved that other guy from maybe getting locked up. You never know what's gonna happen. So,
and then the day after that, across the street from there, you saw the story. It was like 10 police cars the day after we got there on the other side of the block. I asked the sergeant, I was like, yo, what happened? He was like, I can't tell you what happened. But I know because I've seen it before. It was what do they call that? DOA, dead on arrival, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Because it was all these police cars and then a random, because what they do is they
Did
put
they have the tape?
No. They were just standing there because they don't need to tape when it's DOA. They only need to tape if it's like an active crime scene, but it wasn't when you look in there. The medical, I saw like this little minivan pull up, and that's usually like the medical examiner. They usually pull up in a minivan or like a car, and then a minivan comes, and they just like throw you in the back of a minivan. Did you know that? When you die, if you die in your house,
in the back of a coroner's minivan.
A minivan, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. You're like, wait a minute. We all going in the minivan, yo. On brighter news, how's your business, Lisa?
How's my business?
Yeah.
And how you been?
Thank you, Marcus. I've been good.
I gotta clean it up. We're playing good cop, bad cop today.
Okay, no.
You know who's the
Every
good and
day.
I'm the
bad.
good cop.
Okay.
You already know who the good guys wear white.
Sometimes I can't tell.
Whoa, I'm trying to
shots.
To answer your question,
Okay.
I am amazing. It's hot. We're in the summer. It's heating up both, environmentally and in the market. So I'm good. Like this last year was different. So now we're
Great
back
word.
in a hotter market, and so I'm happy about that, for real. I'm really happy about that.
seller market still.
It is still a seller's market.
Are you encouraged by what you see with the volume of buyers that are active?
I am. I think we got over that sticker shock of these rates and what they're going to be, going forward. So I'm happy that we're past that. Thank you all for getting past that. So I'm happy we're past that, and people are, getting out there and trying their hand at winning these houses.
Yeah.
Fun fact, last week we put an offer on a house that had 40 offers. 40.
In what price range?
It was in that 350 range, and we went up 20 grand and still lost it.
Probably lost to someone offering cash.
I don't know yet.
Because that price range, I mean, I've seen it. I mean, we've shared the story that I've seen where even like in Potomac area, like listings at like 1.5, and then they lose to someone who actually purchased it at 1.6, 1.7 in cash.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's almost like no price point that you're safe in, so to speak. If you're a first time buyer, just be aggressive, just be ready. And have faith, man, and have a positive attitude, because this is not just like, oh, there's a bunch of stuff out here and I can just find whatever. You gotta compete.
Yeah. It's like that. So yeah, I'm telling, that's why I asked you earlier, like we have to get creative in terms of how we're going to win these offers. And a lot of times it's closing timeline, you know? So I'm like, you know, I'm working with the lender who's still on this 30-day, and I'm like, look, we were out of that space and we're right back into it. We need to begin to close quickly. Yeah. So, yeah, Marcus, we need you.
And I'm here. And I'm here.
So the first real estate headline that I wanted to talk about was renting or selling your house. What's the best move? I think a lot of times as agents, we kind of just look at people who own houses and automatically say, oh, well, when you get ready to move, you can just rent this house out. And Lisa, before you showed up, Marcus, what?
Today's one of them days.
No, I'm saying before you.
In case y'all don't know,
before you showed up.
Days, I'm in the middle of the foolishness today.
I'm just saying, Anon, you showed up. Me and Lisa was talking about that renting out your house and da. And I think it's like we're always like, yeah, you can just rent it out. But one thing that I'm learning about my rentals in particular, this stuff ain't for the week, yo.
Yeah.
Not a bit.
Not at all.
The rent. You talking about the rental? Being a landlord?
Being a landlord.
You know, and we're talking about people. We're in an age where a lot of people want to acquire wealth by real estate, and we know that is the most consistent, I think, reliable method of acquiring wealth. And we're talking about house hacking, buying multifamily properties and things. So when you do that, I mean, even if you buy a 4-unit property, the best way to do that is to occupy 1 unit, rent out the other 3. When you say being a landlord, you got to take care of these other 3 units, and everybody's going to have some issues at some point. So you say it's not for the week. Is that because of the commitment that it takes to address everybody else's needs and serve them before you own, or
it's more so
repairs and stuff?
No, it's just the you know, being a landlord, you're especially when you have like multi-unit stuff like that, you're responsible for 4 HVACs. You're responsible for 4, you know, washers and dryers. You're responsible for 4 sinks. You're responsible for 4 units that need to be exterminated, right? Everybody's got their own little complaints. You got vacancies. And so I'm just telling y'all, you know, like it's great because, you know, your real estate, that's what you got to pay your dues, right? It ain't nothing gonna be easy, is you know, but there is a price to pay. It's not just sitting back getting cash flow.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like, you're right, it's not for the faint of heart, but what I will say is I don't necessarily think that should prohibit you or prevent you from purchasing.
I agree.
Like at the end of the day, renters out there, like, you're going to pay a mortgage. It's either going to be yours or your landlord's. So you're paying a mortgage, you know what I mean? And yes, when you want to exit or move on with your life, you can rent the space, which in my mind as an investor would be ideal, or you could sell it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that because we're in a seller's market, and we've been in a seller's market for a long time, not just the last 4 years or 5 years. We've been in a seller's market for years.
Like 10, 11 years.
10, 11 years. Selling your home is not the worst thing that you can do, because those proceeds you can roll into another investment. You know what I mean? So, you know, being a landlord isn't your only option, but, you know, I advocate, you know, on behalf of that, because there are other options, right? I mean, we talked about this before you showed up, Marcus. We talked about property management, you know what I mean? So if the numbers make sense, and this is what I tell like my clients who want to be investors, is we need to budget property management as a line item, whether you're going to do it yourself or whether you're going to have a third party do it, because the numbers just at acquisition need to make sense, and you need to budget in deferred maintenance, property management, and you need to pay yourself, right? Because if you're going to manage it yourself, then that line item, whatever that, you know, 10%, 8%, whatever it is, that goes to you. So you're paying yourself.
You have rentals, right, Lisa? And so when you're purchasing your rentals, are you using like a formula, or how are you underwriting them?
Yeah, more or less. I'm using a formula. I have like a little handy spreadsheet. So before I had my little handy spreadsheet or pro forma, I just kind of drop my numbers into bigger pockets. They have like this online formula.
Right.
So that's what I used for many, many years. And then when I started to get into like larger and quote unquote larger, because I'm still a little guy, but like, just partnering with other people and really needing to understand like how these numbers kind of work with one another. That's when I started to kind of like work in this pro forma space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of how, I would underwrite it. So again, it's just literally dropping a few numbers here. And then there are certain numbers that I look at and just kind of make sure they make sense. Like I took a developer course, and there are just, certain numbers that just kind of have to make sense for me to even want to pursue it.
And everybody's, there are standard quote unquote formulas, but everybody has a different set of, or different level of comfort,
tolerance, maybe,
tolerance,
and so just little things, right? Like, you have to deal, it has to, at the end of the day, when all costs, expenses, renovations are accounted for, it still needs to be profitable. It still needs to make sense. So, there are, again, certain numbers and formulas, just like cap rates, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That
Now, cap rates are kind of tough, like with single families and stuff like that.
correct.
Are you in the short-term rental space?
Kind of. I do have one short-term rental, but it's not like my bread and butter by any means. Although there's a lot.
How do you
of money
compare
to be
it? How do you
made.
think it compares to like your long-term rentals?
Well, I think that short-term rentals and maybe even flips are that's quick money, you know what I'm saying? And then long-term rentals and the buy and hold strategy is forever money. That's just kind of how I think about it. It's like it's quick money and then there's forever money. And the way that I look at every rental that I acquire, I mean, it's like me just kind of putting my money in like this little piggy bank called a house, and it's growing at a rate that's higher than any high yield savings account that there is, right? And then I mean, there's just different strategies. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Coach, let's get into the coach's corner. Because I want to talk a little bit and parlay from what you're talking about, Lisa, to the top 3 little down payment resources or sources actually we got here. Because I know, Lisa, before you got here, Marcus, me and Lisa were talking about how much she was able, like, for all of the rest of your joints.
Absolutely.
And so what you got in the coach's corner, Coach Marcus?
For your first time or maybe even a repeat buyer that's not into the investing space that we're talking about. We're just talking about like your primary residence. The easiest way to have your money available for your down payment and closing costs. And there are 2 categories. They both come together at the settlement table, and that's the money that you bring and when you sign your papers. But the down payment is one side, the closing cost is the other side, right? For both of those together, the easiest way to do it is have your own money with your checking and savings, right? That's the easiest way to do it.
I got a checking and a savings.
Yeah, checking and savings. And anything that you put into the bank, like it could even be money that you have kind of hidden from yourself and put into a high yield savings, like a money market fund, something like that. Or a CD that you created or you put money into a year ago and you're now taking, it's up, and it was a 12-month CD, which is a certificate of deposit. And you can take that and take not only what you put into it, but the interest that you made off of it, cash it out, and use that for your down payment and closing costs as well.
CD.
Certificate of deposit. Yep, CD.
I think Bob Kiyosaki calls it certificates of depreciation.
Bobby?
I guess it depends on what market we're in, though, right?
That's what Bob calls it. Bob's information is very market specific.
Who's Bob?
Bobby
Kiyosaki.
Bobby Kiyosaki?
Robert.
Robert.
Yeah.
Roberto.
So any money that you got at the bank, right? Now, you also have your 401k, your stocks, your bonds, your mutual funds.
So how's that work? 401k. Yeah.
So
IRAs.
Yeah. So as you work, you go to work, you're gainfully employed. Every 2 weeks, there's money that comes out of your paycheck, pre-tax, and they put it into your retirement. It's a number of stocks that are put together in the mutual funds a lot of times, and then those they rise and fall, and you can have an aggressive portfolio, you can have a conservative portfolio, or somewhere in between. But over time, let's say every quarter, you look at it and you say, okay, is it going up or going down? If we know overall in our market that we're not in a good market, your your 401k portfolio may not have the numbers that you think it should have, and it may not be growing. In one administration, the 401k portfolios were skyrocketing. In a different administration, they've fallen through the floor. I won't get into that, but the money that you set aside, I can tell you that the money, if you save it And if you're diligent upon putting that money in there every 2 weeks, you'll have more at the end when it's time than what you started with. So you can hit your checking account, savings,
interest.
compound interest. There you go. So your 401k, which is government workers have a TSP, right? Same overall principle.
Do you know anything about UBIT tax? I've been hearing. Do you know anything about UBIT tax, Lisa?
I don't.
You know, Marcus? It's like a tax that you pay on self-directed IRAs and like. But I was wondering if it's like also for 401ks and those types of things. We're gonna figure out more about UBIT tax.
Now, if you got, let's say, Robin Hood and E-Trade, Robin Hood was cracking during the pandemic, and and if you got money there, you can cash it out. There's a different way of documenting. Anything you can document, you can pull money from. Now, here's another way of getting money. Most people don't know that you can get a gift from family, right? So if it's a gift, it's a gift. That means that you didn't do anything to deserve it. They just gave it to you. So if they're giving it to you, you don't have to give it back because that's called a loan. So you can get a gift from family, and different loan programs have, maximum gift amounts that you can receive. Some people who have silver spoons might be able to get $50,000 to $100,000, from family, and that's great. But I'd say the average person can probably get maybe a $5,000 to $10,000 gift. Is
there a cap on the gift? Can you do like the whole down payment as a gift?
So like FHA loans, you don't have to have any money into the transaction for like an FHA, but you can have it all come from a gift source. But usually,
who you said which one? We don't have that conventional or FHA?
FHA.
FHA, you don't have to have any money in the transaction. Conventional, you do have to have like how much? What percentage?
Conventional requires 3% as a down payment, but usually the gift is capped out. I want to say it's at 3%. Yeah, I'll look at the guideline.
And that has nothing to do with like a seller credit and the cap on that.
So, and again, guidelines I got to look at and make sure I'm right. But so different loan programs have a limit to how much you can receive as a gift. Now here, let me also say, I've said checking and savings. I said 401k and retirement funds, but also gift from family. What you cannot do is have money sitting in a Nike shoebox, a safe, or under the duffel bag, mattress, or whatever, and think, I'm just going to bring this money to the closing table and we're going to go ahead and buy this house.
Have you ever had anybody do that? You seen anybody do that, Lisa?
Ooh, I plead the fifth. I work in Baltimore. No, but there's a nuance I want to just kind of make everybody aware of. Like when you do get a gift, your giftee or the person who's gifting you the gift. Giftor. Donor. One more.
Sounds medical.
Donor.
One more.
Homeboy.
Whomever is gifting you
this
down payment,
sugar sauce.
Sugar daddy, yeah. No, but you just also want to make sure that they're comfortable with like sourcing that money, right? Because what I find a lot with gifts is that whomever is gifting you that money doesn't want to relinquish bank statements or
you have to.
So you're gonna have to.
Yes, it's called proving donorability. On the government loan, you have to prove donorability. So that means that if mama's giving you, and I've had this a few times, if mama's giving son or daughter a gift, mama has to show her bank statement that she had the money to give. And if like my mama and maybe yours and yours, she ain't trying to give no bank statement. She don't want you to see what she got. She don't want you to see what she's got or whatever. Yeah. But the reality is, the loan officer, I tell mom, hey, send me the information. Your son or daughter will never see it. Right. So we just need to see that you've got it. Now that's only on government loans. If you got a conventional loan, you don't have to prove donorability.
Oh, you can just drop a duffel bag.
No. We're saying like if it comes from a checking savings, that money can be wired straight to the son or daughter, or they can wire the money straight to the title company. Right?
So if a wire comes into the buyer's account,
you got to show the paper trail. There's a paper trail. We have to show the
paper trail.
We have to show the money hit the account, and we have to show the gift letter. Mom has to sign it.
But you don't need to look at that person's bank account
on a conventional loan
to see if that was duffel bag money.
Correct. We don't need to see that on a conventional loan.
You want to hear a story about that? The name shall be changed to protect the innocent. Okay. So I had a client who he was a Baltimore client, Well, he was from Baltimore, but we bought in St.
Damn,
Charles.
Baltimore's getting a bad rap.
Well, he was from Baltimore. We didn't buy in
Baltimore.
Baltimore. In Baltimore. So
With a
anyway,
D.
yeah, he had a side business, and
Selling oils.
yeah, oils and accessories,
Pharmaceuticals.
I can't confirm or deny. What I will say is he has some money in a shoebox, like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so, unbeknownst to me, that money gets dropped into one of the co-borrowers' bank accounts.
Oh.
And so I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I wish you didn't do that. So they had to disqualify that money. And so he came up with the idea, a very smart person gave him the idea to just get a gift from, like you said, a family member, which happened to be his mother. His mother did have the money, but she was like, I don't have it to like give you. So because it was conventional, we were able to have her wire the money to him. They didn't need to like, they didn't need to source it. Yeah. You'll hear it on the playback, Mark. It wasn't your deal. You ain't. But I mean, hey, that's what I did. Because we didn't do anything that it was like, yo, you got to know the rules so that you can figure out. And I was just like, dude, I wish you would have told me that before you did it.
It's called creative financing, people.
Well, yeah, we had to get creative.
And sometimes they'll creatively find a way to put your butt in jail. So you got to you got to be
I was
careful.
like this. Look, there's nothing prohibiting your mother from giving you a gift.
Yes.
And there's nothing prohibiting you from giving your mother any amount of money that you want to give her.
Yes. Yes.
And so we closed on the house.
Good job, Dan.
Yeah.
It was conventional too. That's permissible with conventional loans.
Permissible.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. You can get a gift from, and you don't have to show vulnerability.
See, we was talking about this before you even got here.
Yeah. All I'm saying is so there are ways of you being able to get money. So if it's in a duffel bag, shoebox, wherever it is,
holla at us. We'll help you out.
No,
creative financing.
Before you think you have bright ideas and before you get so excited,
because he did not ask me about that.
Let's have a conversation.
I was like, dude, he did it. He talked to me after he did it. So then we had to fix it, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I tell my clients, like in the beginning. I'm like, let's treat, not necessarily me, and we talked about this last time. You don't need to tell me everything, but tell the lender, treat it like you would your relationship with a doctor. Like, just let them know everything, you know what I mean? And let them be in a position to best help you. I don't necessarily need to know all of the ins and outs. I think Dan does want to know all of the ins and outs. But I do. You know, I don't just tell the money people. I'm the person who helps you find the house. Marcus is the person who helps you finance the house and let him do his job, you know?
Yes.
Yep.
That's all I got from the corner.
Love it, brother. Let's get into the DMV market report.
All right.
So we got a couple numbers. We got some numbers. Let's go through the numbers for what happened in the DMV. So this is July. So this is what happened in June.
Okay.
We're down on, no, let me make sure I'm reading this right. We're up. Okay. So in June we had 22,000. I'm looking at Smart Charts. Yeah. You smart.
I try.
Use that.
Closed sales, 22,948, which is down year over year and up 9.2% from last month. Median sold price up 2%. Average sold price up 2.7%. The median days on market is about the same, still at 7 days as it was last month. Average days on market is down 12%. And yeah, so we have prices still increasing, days on market decreasing. So my question is, do you think that this is the market kind of normalizing, or do you think this is just like a summer bump, dead cat bounce?
I was about to say, this is June. This is from June, right?
It's from June.
Yeah, it's the season. I mean, it's the transacting season. We talked about this a little too. Like, you know, most people after school want to be transitioning and getting settled before like those fall, winter school starting months. So now's the time, right? If you're going to do business and if you're going to do it at a high level, this is your time because people are transacting. So I think that we talked about the sticker shock. People are over the sticker shock of these interest rates. And then, at the end of the day, people need somewhere to live. So, I mean, let's not let, interest rates get in the way of you, putting your family into a nice home, So I think it's a little bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would tend to agree. I mean, I think that I don't really see anything in the numbers so far that's indicating prices will go down. Now, here's my devil's advocate position that I'll take in December. We'll see if this actually comes true or not, because we were right in January. If you go back to some of our prior episodes, we was right. But this is what I think. We could run into a scenario where if the Federal Reserve goes up on the interest rates, continues to go up, they could break it.
Yeah.
They could break it where, because I've got like 10 properties on the market right now, and 5 of them, 6 of them joints,
flex.
they're sitting on the market. I'm at like 120 days, 145 days on market for some of my properties. Now, they are overpriced. I will admit they are overpriced because a lot of my guys are over leveraged. Mm-hmm. And that's just the name of that particular game. But if I think, let's say, for example, the Federal Reserve keeps pushing it up. Are you flicking me off? Keeps pushing it up. And everybody's like, okay, more buyers drop out. Mm-hmm. Right. And then more people who need to sell then have to drop their price. Are we hitting the red line to where like they're just going to keep pushing us until it breaks?
And then what does breaking look like?
A massive decline in home prices, listing, like people just being like, yo, I've been on the market 180 days. I need to go. I'm about to just drop the price.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of just keeps dropping their price.
I mean, wasn't the whole point to get that inflation down? And isn't inflation down?
Well, it's hard to get inflation down if the government just keeps printing money. Instead of like slowing down the spending, they're just trying to like increase the interest rates. But it's like, well, I'm not slow down the spending and reduce some of the deficit, but they don't. That's a political argument. I'm not getting into the political argument, but yeah, to answer your question, that was the point, but it hasn't happened yet. So that's why they're meeting again to talk about another increase. What you seeing, Marcus?
Applications are up. There's a lot of buyer interest.
Applications are up.
Yeah. Just overall, but we get this bottleneck, and because of lack of inventory. I think the rates right now, because the rates are on average. What do you say?
Stupid.
They're averaging.
The rates are stupid, bro.
Depending on who you go to in the situation, but they're averaging like mid to high sixes. Oh, I'm sorry, high 6s and 7s, right? But there's always ways to get around that. But I think that the hard part is with the lack of inventory, and even with what might be available within the inventory, it's not hitting people's expectations. Yeah. So what I have seen is an increase in new build, new construction purchases. Because and I'm not saying that this is the route to go, but I would say that when I see these eligible buyers go into the regular market, they don't see what they want. They may have this buyer fatigue. Then they drive past a community and they see, like, well, I want to live in
we got hit a couple times like that.
Yeah.
And it ain't really, that's just the game. I don't hate on them.
But see, here's the other side.
I hate
that money that we're talking about the closing.
You don't like new construction?
Well, yeah, because the builders know that they have somewhat of an upper hand in certain markets, and they completely do us as realtors wrong in that capacity, as it relates to compensation. So
because they don't need you, but
you need us.
Well, they do need you, but who needs you more is the buyer. The buyer needs you more because this thick stack of papers, the buyer doesn't know, and the sales agent is not going to go into detail and tell you exactly what it is. They'll sign here, explain this, at a high level, but that's where you come in and they need you for that. But the other side of it is it's hard for you all to stay fairly compensated in that transaction, but it's also, it eliminates my role probably to about 75%. Their in-house lender.
Yeah, they're in-house. They got a monopoly on that.
So buyers are incentivized to go with the builder's
almost
lender.
Coerced.
Yeah. Coerced. So everybody's taking a hit except for
the builder.
I don't mind it. I think. I agree with your point. There's an argument to be made. Yeah. And at the same time, we're here to service our clients. So if it's like, yo, that's the best option for you, dope. Like, let's press here, sign hard. You know what I'm saying?
But that 15 or 10,000, whatever they may give you for like to go with them and keep it term, bro. It's hard to walk away from it. And I have encouraged some buyers. Hey,
if it was me, I would do the same thing if I was a builder.
Me too. But here's the other piece though. what you're doing is that we're going to give you this $10,000 to $15,000 for not serving you at the highest level.
Well, here's my question.
You're just
then.
getting a new
That
house.
to me sounds like an opportunity for a lender to say, or a lending company to create some type of product where they say, look, if you buy new construction, we're going to guarantee whatever closing cost credit that they say they're going to give you, we're going to give you that. And if there's somebody that can come up with a product like that, they're going to clean up.
It is definitely an option, but it's one of those situations where that money that they're giving, like 10, 15,000, it's coming from three places. Minimally, it's coming out of the builder's going to pay the chunk of that, right? They're just going to basically forfeit a small part of their profit. The title company might be giving up a little bit of money in that because you got to go through the title company usually in-house as well. But then the lender might chip in a few $1,000s. Now, what I always do, hey, Mr. and Ms. Buyer, let me see that paperwork, because let me break that. Let me tell you, when I was walking the streets the other day, I was door knocking, and I did something I've never really done.
You door knocking?
Bro.
My God, we out here hungry trying to get this bag.
I was door knocking businesses though.
Oh, okay.
But that's a whole other thing. But so I walked in, talked to this guy. He owned a music lesson, giving a music lesson for guitar or whatever. And he was having to buy with Lennar. Started off hot, everything was good, right? Loan officer was responsive. He said after they got me pre-approved and moved on, and I had questions, he said I still ain't heard from them. And I'm supposed to deliver the house. The house is going to be delivered in September. Yeah. And I was like, let me see your paperwork, because I want to make sure that you're getting the best of your qualifications. And he talked about the previous bankruptcies, all these things. But what I know for certain, there are fees that you're going to pay that you have no idea what they mean. And even if you got to pay them, at least someone has to explain to you what these fees mean, right?
Yeah. And I would just argue that, whatever incentive they give you on the front end, you're financing on the back end.
True.
Because there's this premium, with these new construction homes. So whatever $10,000, $15,000 you're getting to get into that home, just know that you're paying for it month over month.
I mean, that's a good point. That's a value. I mean, most people don't really think that way, but it's true. But it's kind of like, all right, $15,000 over 12 months, over 30 years is like what? $60, $70, $100 something.
Yeah, it might make sense.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the real estate hot or not.
Excited about it.
I want to ask one real quick.
Okay.
This came from Lisa's Instagram. I was like, when Lisa comes, I ask her. All right. So this is the question: is cheesecake cake or pie?
That's funny. That came from my Instagram?
No. I asked you that.
No. It was from Lisa. No, I wrote it down.
It was that video that we saw.
About right now.
It was the video of the four dudes on the podcast, and they.
You sent me that after her Instagram. She posted something.
Oh really? I ain't betting you on it because I didn't.
How much?
I didn't see that. I ain't been on IG lately.
Yeah, you ain't trying. Crank it up.
Took a break.
Cake or pie?
Cheesecake is pie. I mean,
why was I drinking?
Well, look, it has all of the pie elements. Does cheesecake even have cake on it? I guess it
can.
Depends.
It can. Some of them do. Now the new age fancy ones.
By the way, I stay away from cheesecake.
Do you?
Oh my goodness!
Give you the farts.
Okay,
you get the night.
We won't answer that question. However,
the night hoots.
I don't even know what that is. That just sounds funny.
It's when you do little toot toots in the night.
So anyway, I am non-dairy at this juncture in my life. Let's just all be clear.
What was that? Somebody at the door. Lisa, wake up.
Let her finish talking. It was stupid.
So I am non-dairy. Okay. So that's why.
Okay. My bad.
So almond milk and oat milk and coconut milk.
Almond milk is not milk.
Here we go.
This is the
oat
thing.
milk is disgusting, and
I'm not rocking with oat milk.
Yeah.
How are we calling this
almond
milk?
I'm with it.
Nuts don't make milk.
Absolutely.
It's just nut secretion. It's just like
you soak them and squeeze them, and that's what.
No, milk comes from animals.
We know that mammals.
Yeah, but legumes are not animals. I think so. It's not milk.
Or beans are not animals. Yes. That's true.
Legume, cashews, all those.
What was the other one? Yeah, cashew. What was the other one? Coconut milk.
And then soy milk.
Soy milk got a lot of hormones in it. You
Yeah,
mess
I
with
don't
soy
do
milk?
so much. Yeah, so it's linked to cancer.
I think everything's linked to cancer though.
That part. Yeah.
Candles,
See what you started?
leather. Where did I start? Cancer? I didn't
No,
start cancer.
no.
You were 45 minutes late.
No. Whoa.
45.
That's what I bring in. Anything you say, you were 45 minutes late.
I was like, I don't think he wants to record with me. I wasn't sure.
Like, you hate Lisa?
It is cheesecake is a pie. Only, in my opinion, only because it's got a crust.
Yes.
Yeah. I think cheesecake is pie. I don't see any cake anywhere. And it's also disgusting. Do you like cheesecake? If you were, I guess you would eat like a soy cheesecake. Is that what you eat?
Oh my gosh! Can I
milk
plug
cheesecake?
somebody?
Sure.
So there's this guy. He's the owner of, and I don't recall his name right now, but I know his brand is called Think Cheesecake. The cheesecakes look really great, and because I harassed him and gave him a hard time, he created a non-dairy type of cheesecake. And he sets up shop regularly at Mixed Food Hall. So feel free to stop by.
Where's Mixed Food Hall?
Mixed Food Hall
DMV?
it's on the Maryland side of DC. In it's technically PG County, and I believe that would be like Brentwood or Mount Rainier.
Oh.
It's right in that little odd in between
Yeah.
section.
They look good,
Right?
but that price, I'm like $75 for a red velvet cheesecake.
No.
For a pie? A cheese pie?
I'm looking for that.
Really?
I think you need to think cheesecake. Need to think again on the price.
But it might be good
It's all right,
though. Maybe
it's all
that's
right.
like his luxury brand. Maybe he
I'm
got
good.
like one for the people in the cheap seats.
Red velvet ain't
Like a
luxury.
$30.
No, red velvet isn't that supposed to be fancy?
What is red velvet? Is that chocolate?
No idea.
It's just
It's-
food coloring,
it's-
ain't it?
It's a
I
chocolate.
think so.
It's a chocolate thing. It's basically a chocolate flavor with red food coloring in it.
Anon.
Y'all gonna kill me with this or not? All right, let's go. And I do love cheesecake. I got some good ones.
Disgusting.
Would you rather get a paper cut between your fingers every time you touch paper, or bite your tongue every time you eat something?
Ooh.
Paper cut.
Yeah, straight up. Paper cut.
Oh, I hate paper cuts, but
Me
yeah,
too.
paper cut.
Boy, y'all ever had a paper cut from a piece of cardboard?
Cardboard.
Bro, that thing.
Really?
Oh, I thought my finger was gonna fall off.
Why would you
Yeah.
do that?
I was trying to open a box, and the way that I went like
you out
that,
there.
that
You were assaulted
Boy,
by an
straight up.
inanimate object. Like-
So you said paper cut. We
Yeah,
all
I
said
think
paper cuts. Would you rather get $1 million right now or get $100,000 a year for 10 years?
Oh gosh.
Give me the million.
Right now?
What am I doing with $100,000? It's like $30,000. We was talking about that before you showed up.
Yeah.
Give me $1 million right now. Yeah, I'll take
Is
it.
it like tax? Is the million tax? So
It's just
Good
straight
question.
Duffel, just stuff,
700K.
just
Capital
duffel. Let's say
gains.
duffel bag. Duffel bag.
Duffel bag million. Now I gotta clean it.
You're
Oh,
gonna
shit.
lose 20% on that.
She thinking.
You know the fee, Frank.
Hold
20%.
on, don't they say you want to do the annuity?
I don't know who they, I don't know who they is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad though. 100,000. What's that every month? Like
Oh, you said 100,000.
8,500.
100,000 a year for 10 years. So just break it down.
Oh.
85. It's probably,
Just
let's say
passively?
8,500.
Nah, I'll take the million, yo.
I would do a little bit of. I don't know if I can answer that right now. I'm pretty sure
You have
you're
to.
some smart guy. Okay, so I don't think most people would know how to deploy $1 million at like.
Because you know
But you
100,000.
would.
You know, if you get the monthly allotment, that's 1.2 million versus $1 million right now.
Yeah.
So you forfeiting $200,000.
To deploy something now to potentially grow that. Just give me the.
Give me $1
annuity.
million now,
Give me the annuity.
and let me chop it up the way I want.
Mm.
All right. Would you say $1 million now?
Yeah, give me the bag.
Yeah, you said that first. Would you rather have your partner tell you what they want as a gift or surprise them? When giving a gift,
I'll
would
let
you
Lisa
rather-
go first.
would you rather have your partner tell you what they want, or would you rather surprise them?
So that's the part of love languages is like the way that you.
Go ahead.
Well, meaning the way
knowledge.
that you.
Pop quiz. What are the 5?
Physical
Act.
touch,
Uh-huh.
acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, and
The gift.
gifts. Oh, I didn't say gifts already? Okay.
You
Yes, and gifts. So
You read
what
that?
they teach you in the book is that
Somewhat.
excuse me,
Cliff notes.
what they're not
Yeah, I
listening
read
to
it.
me. what they teach you in the book is the way that you want love is the way that you give it. And I think that I don't like surprises. So let me tell you what I want, and then you make it like happen.
And then, okay.
So that being said, I probably want my partner to tell me.
Okay.
So which one is it? What do I want my partner? Do I want my partner to tell me what they want? Do I want to just surprise my partner?
Would you rather have your wife tell you what she
tell
wants
me what you want? I'm not a big gift person.
Or you
I don't like giving gifts. I don't like receiving gifts. So
you don't like giving or receiving gifts?
Nah, it's kind of stupid. Like just
I
can buy anything I want. Yeah, exactly. That goes on the trend of happy birthdays. I don't want happy birthdays.
Happy birthday thing? He don't call him and tell him happy birthday.
No,
I'll hang up on you.
He'll hang up on you.
Why?
Because why am I celebrating this? What are we celebrating?
Maybe it's less about you and more about them.
Why does it have to be about them? If
this dude told
my
me
birthday,
you should when he's born. He said you should call his mom and tell her thanks or give her.
She's the one that did it for the first 20 years.
About this
extensively.
So you're annoyed genuinely?
Genuinely, yeah. I'm like 100% anti-birthday. Like,
however, if they don't know that this annoys you, you'll give them a pass, right?
No, I'll just say thanks.
Okay, so you're not hanging up in their face.
No, I'll hang up if somebody does it intentionally. Like, he called me, started singing happy birthday.
Oh, wow. I wonder.
Which was funny than a mug, by the way. I was dying laughing as I was hanging up on you.
Do you celebrate at all?
No, why? I used to. I just don't. I don't find it fun or entertaining.
To take a moment to celebrate who you are in this world.
I could do that any day.
So let me ask you this. So what if, let's just say abstract scenario, what if she put together a surprise birthday party for you?
She would never do that.
Because she already knows that you don't like
I've exclusively said I don't want.
So what?
If that happened, I would probably just turn around and walk out.
So what if me and Nick Bush get you
You would waste your time and money. I would leave.
Really?
I wouldn't be there.
There's some psychological stuff going on right now.
I don't think so.
Need to
I think it's just about personal preferences. I just don't.
Let's have a therapy session.
I've had extensive therapy. It's come up, and they told me that it was totally normal. It's like it's like this. Do you like Brussels sprouts?
Yes.
You like Brussels sprouts?
With everything inside of me.
I love Brussels sprouts too. If you didn't like Brussels sprouts, I wouldn't force you to eat Brussels sprouts. I'd just be like, oh, you don't like Brussels sprouts?
No, that's not what we're unpacking in our therapy session. We're unpacking why you don't like Brussels
No, but
sprouts.
you could unpack that. Like if you were forced to eat Brussels sprouts as a little kid and now you hate them, even though Brussels sprouts are actually kind of good, but if you just don't like the taste of it,
they're
the
like
bitterness.
Mini cabbage.
Yeah, it's like little mini cabbage balls inside your mouth, which is to me is great. You saute them with some salt and pepper and some butter, some baby fat. But it might not be everybody's bag. So I'm not gonna force you if you like. I hate them. Cool.
Why, Dan?
Why don't I like Brussels sprouts or why don't I like birthdays?
You see the squint? She got quiet and squinted.
I don't see the necessity in all these people like standing around singing a song to a grown man. And then I have to sit there awkwardly until you guys finish off key singing this random non-melodic song. Okay, thank you.
It is an awkward moment when you like everybody's singing, you just standing there and they singing at you. It does feel
like
awkward.
To me, it's so self-congratulatory. Like everybody come over and celebrate me. Like why? And here's the thing: if you invite me to your house and say, Dan, I'm going to spend $1,000 so that you can come and sing to me. And then we're going to eat some cake that I bought. And then you guys are going to bring me gifts. I'll say, sure. Send me the Evite. I'll show up. Mm-hmm. I'm not hating. You want me to sing happy birthday to you?
You'll celebrate other people. You just don't.
For sure.
Oh, okay.
If you want me to come to your birthday party, I'll be there.
January 12th.
I'm January 11th.
So you're late.
You okay?
My birthday is October 14th. I will expect it.
Send me the invite.
Libra?
Your brother, though? I'm not going to your brother's birthday party. That's not going to happen. I'll come to your birthday party if you really, really want me there.
Okay.
All right, let me keep going because we could be on this.
I won't smile though the whole time, just in case.
I just want you to sing, play drums. Would you rather? Visit famous landmarks or discover hidden gems off the beaten path?
Hidden gems off the beaten path.
I'll take the landmarks.
I want both of them.
You can't have both.
Both of them.
I know I can't. But
you a Libra? When were you a Libra?
Yeah.
Now everything makes sense.
But I do. There are some famous landmarks I do want to see, but I think if I can get a hidden gem off the beaten path, I'll roll with that.
I'll take the landmarks, man. Let's make it easy.
All right.
Oh, that was dope.
Would you rather travel to a destination known for its food or for its natural scenery?
I'm a little fat girl. Give me the food.
I'll take the scenery. Actually, I'm not a really big food guy.
Yeah, I need the food to be straight.
I like a good oyster though. They have oysters.
Really?
I could eat like
Did
1,000
you hear about
oysters.
the guy who like died from eating oysters?
That's a great death.
It's so great.
That's how I want to go out.
Did they pick him up in the minivan?
Put me in the back of a minivan with some oysters in my cold dead hands.
One got to go. This is, you said you a fat girl, right? So, this is a carb edition. One got to go: bread, rice, potatoes, or pasta.
I'm gonna say pasta.
Yeah, I'll say pasta. I mean, isn't rice kind of like a pasta though? It's like a grain. Feels the same. Boiling both in water.
Not even the same. Yeah. Rice grows out of the ground. Pasta
grows out of the ground.
Is dough mixed with eggs
from wheat.
Okay, wheat, yeah, but
Goes
whatever. You understand that, but it's not. It ain't the same. That's not the same.
Fair enough.
I think I'll probably go with the rice but it's hard. Maybe the potatoes. I don't know.
I mean, I just think that if you do away with most of those, if you do away with the other three, so like pasta, like you can't. Most of the world, right, lives off of rice, bread, and then maybe potatoes, maybe. But pasta, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, where in the world do you go outside of like a couple different like continents where you can just freely have like pasta? You know what I mean? So I think you just limit yourself a little.
Okay.
Last one.
Whew. You might like this one. One got to go. The Office is a TV show. The Office.
Amazing.
Friends. Seinfeld. Or Frasier.
Oh, Frasier. Well, Seinfeld is definitely will never go anywhere. Yeah. That's a keeper for sure. I'll get rid of Friends. I'm not a real big Friends guy. When the rain starts to fall.
Yeah, Friends got to go. Friends can kick
I do
all
like
the
that
rocks.
one. Pivot.
Wait a minute, no, not Friends. Oh, I was thinking of 90210. Friends are actually kind of funny.
Frasier can go too if I got to choose. But I'll get rid of both of them.
I actually never seen it. I know who Kelsey Grammer is, but I ain't never seen the episode, so you can get gone.
It's a spinoff from Cheers.
Is it really?
Is it?
Yeah. Y'all young cats.
And so is Friends is a spinoff from, not a spinoff, but a bootleg version of Living Single.
It is. They stole that.
Not so bootleg, obviously.
No, it's just a direct ripoff.
Ripoff, yeah.
And have y'all seen the entire Office series?
I ain't seen the whole thing, but it's funny every time I see it.
It's funny.
Yeah,
I never really watched it though, like
Me
while
either.
it was on, but I'll catch an episode, especially like on the plane.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big investment to like try and like, what they got, like 150 seasons or something like that? I'm like,
I don't know.
I feel like starting that journey. But you didn't say, what are you going to do?
Which one am I getting rid of? Yeah, I mean, it would probably be Frasier.
Yeah.
I gotta give one more though. Because this one is stupid.
All right.
This one says to all the black people, one gotta go. Watermelon, Kool-Aid,
oh God,
cornbread, or fried chicken. And it was,
all of them.
I know it's stupid.
Stop.
All of them.
Sacrilege. If I gotta get rid of one, I guess I'll give Kool-Aid though.
I feel like the diabetes just kind of like just because of this conversation is coming on.
But it's so good. Though.
It is good. It's so nostalgic.
I can drink other sodas.
What was it? Cornbread?
It was
Kool-Aid?
Watermelon, Kool-Aid, cornbread, or fried chicken.
Yeah, I don't like really.
You don't like watermelon?
No, actually. So watermelon can go.
Watermelon?
Yeah.
All right.
Here's the thing: when I do have it, I'm not like watermelon, but but it's never anything I crave. I'm just kind of like indifferent about it. I'm also indifferent. I mean, Kool-Aid can absolutely go. So maybe it's Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid is legit. It's not disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
No, you spelled delicious wrong. All right. Let's get to the last question that we ask everybody. Oh, let's get to the comment section. And then we're going to wrap it up.
She already know the
okay, here we go. So here's a question from the Tiki-Taki. And if you want to ask us a question, write in the comments below and you may be chosen. Mr. Ian Bion says, at Ian Bion, I guess that's maybe Brown or Bion. Anyway, He says, I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about. What you think about this? Housing shouldn't be a commodity. He said, I shouldn't have to think about how much I can squeeze out in terms of money. He said, shelter is a basic human right.
Yeah.
What say you?
So
Lisa.
I would agree. I think that, I mean, yeah, your basic food, shelter, air. I mean, like, I agree, but we are in a capitalist society here. And if we can commoditize, you know, we will. And it, you know, something is worth with something someone else is willing to pay for it. So that's that on that. I mean, our basic. So does he also not believe that he should go to the grocery store and pay for the food that he gets at the grocery store? You know,
that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I totally disagree with. I mean, I disagree. I understand where he's coming from. I understand why he thinks that way. I mean, I wish everything were free, but that's just not how life works. Housing isn't a right. It's not a human right. I mean, it's just not a right. It's a need. You may need housing. Food isn't a right. Food is a need. But housing, the reason it's not a right is because in order to have housing, that necessitates somebody building that housing. And you're not entitled, you don't have a right to somebody's free labor, right? Now, you do have the right to go build your own house, right? And that requires nobody but your own effort. In that particular situation, yeah, you have the right to live wherever you want. If you want to live off grid and build your own house, then you can do that. But if you want to live in civilization, have access to running water, have access to sewage, that necessitates you having to pay somebody. The people who hung the drywall in your house, the people who run those plumbers need to get paid for their services. So you can't say I have a right to you working for me and I have a right not to pay you. That's not kind of a human right. So yeah, I don't particularly agree with that, Mr. Bion. What say you, Coach?
Yeah, I think the perspective of him saying he got to squeeze, they shouldn't have to think about how much I can squeeze out of this in terms of money. I mean, I still go back to some of these comments. You know, you comment the way that you comment based upon what you have and have not achieved. And unless he's just, out here and fighting for the rights of the people, unless that's the case, what he's probably experienced is either he can't get pre-approved, he can't buy a house, get under contract or whatever. But it's not a matter of, he shouldn't have to think about how much he got to squeeze out of the money that he's got. But whether he buys or he rents, he still got to think about how much money he's spending wherever he's living. So
yeah,
I think, but stuff like this is like fed up with the housing being in the news and fed up with the process, and even if he's never in it, you just you're kind of tired of hearing about it. So.
Yeah, well, Ian, there you go, brother. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lisa Mays, for jumping on the Real Estate Wire
Appreciate
podcast.
You, Lisa Mays.
Where can they find you at, Lisa?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So you can find me on the Eyes of G's at _Lisa Marie
So bougie
_ same for TikTok, I believe, and then Marie Mays Properties is my website, and yeah, just I'm around.
Where can they find you at, Coach Marcus?
At Mortgage Coach Marcus and at Fields Mortgage Group.
And I am Dan Wheeler Sells Homes on all platforms. For all of us here at the Real Estate Wire, thank you so much. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this podcast with anybody that you think might think is dope. Leave a comment if you're listening on iTunes. Thank you so much, everybody. We are out.
Bye.
Cut scene.